We're here at the West Cornwall Hospital today. We invited members of the Accessibility Advisory Group down to come and have a look at the new outpatient department. It's the first project at RCHT where the Accessibility Advisory Group have been involved right from the very start when we were looking at designs on the table through to completion.
So the new outpatients department is a state-of-the-art brand new healthcare facility here at West Cornwall. It sits at the front of the hospital and replaces the original outpatients department, which was tired, space constraint, and was located at the back of the hospital. You know, our design team design our new buildings to comply with relevant standards, but we often find that those standards are never quite enough when it comes to lived experiences, and the Accessibility Advisory Group provide us with that lived experience, the examples, the diverse differences that happen, you know, in everyday life with those with accessible needs.
I think it's just good to be involved with full co-production, right the way from planning, right the way up to the finished product, because not only you can pick out a lot of faults at an early stage, which hopefully it could save quite a lot of money, but also a lot of time. Probably taking, say, like a reception area, for example, is having the correct chairs, some with maybe high backs, some with like a lower seating area. You're looking at making things very visible, no trip hazards. And also going back to like furnishings within the toilets, I think it's a case of just keeping things to a minimal and making sure that those sort of fixtures and fittings really are correct before you sort of finish the project off.
Well, I support many families with children and young people with autism and learning disabilities, and that was my main thrust when I first became involved. Since then, I've actually become a wheelchair user myself and have a vision impairment, so I'm bringing to the table both my lived experience and the lived experience of having a young person with a learning disability. Yeah, just making sure that the open spaces were suitable for those with autism, sensory processing issues, that the lighting wasn't so harsh that they couldn't sit in those waiting rooms. But certainly for those with learning disabilities and autism, the softer elements of the project were very, very important.
At Eyesight Cornwall, we represent people who are blind and partially sighted. So for us, the motivation was to make sure that they had a voice at the table. So just the difference between a chair placed against a wall, if the colour contrast is great enough, then that's going to be easier for someone to see where the chair is. And Roommate is an audio device that's pre-recorded that goes into the toilet room, and the audio recording will give you a description of the room. So it will tell you where in the room is the toilet, where's the sink, are the taps turn handles or are they a mixer tap? So the Roommate's really, really valuable, and to have one in this hospital is just fantastic.
There's a big thank you to all the members of the Accessibility Advisory Group for their contribution in this amazing project. It's going to definitely improve the experience for all patients and service users here at the hospital.